this afternoon on whether or not the jail should be taken over by the federal government. Several council members have toured the facility this week to get a first-hand look at the conditions inside. Yesterday, Council member Farrell Lewis and Marjorie Velasquez visited the jail. Earlier this week, members of the Common Sense Caucus toured the facility, and they had this to say after their visit.
This dilapidated infrastructure there that was vulnerable, they were being converted into weapons. That's not happening anymore.
This facility is filled with 6,200 of the most violent criminals in the city of New York. Our corrections officers are doing the very, very best that they can.
Having somebody from Oklahoma tell New Yorkers what to do, I mean, that's just incompetence.
So meanwhile, the Department of Correction is facing another legal battle. The city's independent watchdog group, the Board of Correction, is suing over access to surveillance video from inside the jail. Henry Robinson spent 3 months locked up on Rikers Island and says the jail needs to close. And he's not alone. Henry joins us this morning along with Melanie Dominguez, the lead organizer of the Cattell Center for Equity, Health, and Justice. So thanks to both of you for being here this morning.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah. Well, Henry, I want to start with you because you've been inside Rikers. And now you hear the correction commissioner saying that violent incidents, deaths are all down in Rikers. You heard the council members saying that they feel that there have been improvements. When you hear that, what are your thoughts about that?
Well, my thoughts on it is that I know that they may be being a little deceptive, being the fact that before this even occurred, this pandemic, all this stuff happening, when I was there, this wasn't even happening, and it was bad then. And we was trying to, rally the people in the prison to actually, speak to the officers. We called 311, many different things I did myself. We even ourselves, we had altercations with officers because they don't mind getting physical with you to enforce they word and they regulations, even if, they're in the wrong or not, you know what I'm saying?
So you're basically saying you have doubts that it's getting any better?
I doubt it's going to get better unless it's some type of assistance coming from the receivership.
So we know that Rikers is slated to close, Melanie, and there's this whole idea of the federal receivership, whether or not it should take over. The mayor says, give us the chance to fix it. Has the city been given too many chances to move the jail in the right direction, and do you believe the federal receivership will make any kind of difference?
Yeah, absolutely. The city has been given many chances. These federal court hearings have been happening since November of last year. And up until this point, at a special conference that the federal judge Laura Taylor Swain convened in June, that's when it was the breaking point. It was like too many people have passed away under the Department of Corrections in New York City. And that's when the judge basically stated that she no longer believes that she no longer has faith that this administration is able to address the conditions that are unfolding at Rikers Island and open up the doors to allow the U.S. Attorney General and the Legal Aid Society to make their cases on federal receivership for today's special hearing.
Can you help some folks understand what a federal receivership could do that the city cannot do?
Absolutely. So a federal receivership, just to kind of give a little bit more context, is appointed by the federal court. So the judge will have a say on who the receiver is, and it's an independent body. One of the things that they can do is improve conditions at Rikers Island to save lives. They have the authority to fire and hire people to make sure that they're reforming the city jails right now. But to us, it is clear that the city and the mayor must take action in closing down Rikers, decarceration, and investing in our communities. That's always something that's going to remain under the control of the mayor. Yes. But until Rikers Island is shut down, we need the federal courts to appoint an independent receiver to improve conditions, because people are dying. 26 people have died since the mayor took office, and that is unacceptable. And that's evident that the conditions at Rikers Island are life-threatening.
Yeah, and more will die if nothing is changed.
Yeah, and you're fighting for transparency. Have you met with the commissioner at all?
Well, I haven't myself got to meet with the commissioner, but I plan on to, just because of my own personal experiences and just knowing that every voice count. Every voice count. Every person. It don't even matter if you've been to prison or not. The thing is that at any time, due to how the world is, ran, we could be taken. I could be accused of something I didn't do. Just me defending. If a person was next to me and I defended them, said this person wasn't at there. He wasn't at that crime scene. He was with me. They'll take me too. just because I said I was with this person. And even if it was just one person, assailant, they'll take both of us. And you know that's wrong.
And to go to what you're saying about the transparency, they've kind of changed how they report the deaths right now, and so the public and media are not really fully aware of what's happening inside. But Melanie, we only have a short time left here. The hearings are getting away this afternoon at 2 p.m., but the decision may not come until sometime next year, right? So what can be done in the meantime?
I think right now what we're focusing our energy around is just organizing our city, making sure that more elected officials come out and support a receivership. As you know, Public Advocate Jumaane Williams introduced a resolution at City Hall. That resolution has now 17 co-sponsors, so 17 council members are supporting it.
Yep.
And we're going to be having a rally today ahead of the hearing at Foley Square at 1 p.m. to urge the courts to take immediate action, but to continue our demand to have the mayor shut down Rikers Island immediately, because we cannot wait any longer.
All right, Melanie, Henry, thanks so much for coming
Yes,
on.
thank you too. And
Thank
can I
you.
say one thing? We would like to urge everyone to come down to Foley Square at 1 o'clock today, if it's possible, to help us in what we're doing and trying to make happen for individuals that can't do it for themselves and that are dying. Thank you and appreciate it.
Yeah, you see it all there on your screen.
Awesome.
Thank you both.
Thanks again.
That's right. That's right.
It's time to what?
Shut it down.
It's time to what?
Shut it down.
It's time to what?
Shut it down. I'm also here and glad to introduce the Raging Nannies. They're going to give us the energy we need. Let's go. Keep pumping us up. Let's go.
Give it up for the Raging Grannies! The Grannies! Don't forget the G!
That's right.
Don't forget the G!
Island, shut it down. Hear it.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
Rikers Island,
Shut it down.
can't pay bail. You can die in jail. Can't
pay bail. You can die in jail. Can't pay bail.
Island, shut it down.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
Rikers Island, shut it down. Shut it down. Die in jail. One more time. Rikers Island, shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. Rikers Island, shut it down. Shut it down. Die in All right, everyone. We want to thank every single one of you for being out here. We have one more speaker. We know we barely through the rain. We're showing up. We're making sure that our voices are heard ahead of the hearing that is happening right across in that building, where the judge is going to have to contend with whether or not she's going to put a federal receiver in place to take control of Rikers Island to improve conditions. Right now, you're going to hear from our last speaker, which is our one and only Qatar leader, Henry Robinson. So make some noise.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Before I get started, can I just get a chant going on real quick? Of
course. Yes.
All right, I would like to say, no justice!
No peace.
No justice!
No peace.
No justice!
No peace.
What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
When do we want it?
Now.
All right, thank you. All right, everybody.
You don't have to kneel down.
All right, everyone, we here. Well, I'm Henry Robinson. So y'all know that I've been in prison or in Rikers before, where I went through the same conditions that these individuals went through without all the extra stuff. People wasn't dying then, but it was definitely hazardous for people's health, right? There's a lot of violence that going in Rikers. There's a lot of disrespect and things like that. So outside of that, with Rikers Island and the dangers that they bring and people that's dying and us having to need somebody from outside to help because nobody on the inside cares. Mayor Adams don't care about Rikers Island. This is why he don't even show his face. What he do care about is what he's on camera for. And when y'all do see him and what he care about. And that got to do with the police and all that other stuff, all right? The people are concerned. If you don't have people to protect, then you don't have a job.
That's right.
So if we inside Rikers Island on these streets dying, it need to be somebody there to help us. But for Rikers Island, we need a federal receivership. This is why we here. We need the courts to make it possible for a federal receivership for Rikers to have a federal.
To have a rally to close down Rikers. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna start it off with a little chant, okay? The first chant we're gonna do is shut Rikers down. 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 Shut Rikers down.
Incarcerate our city.
How's everyone doing this morning? It's a beautiful day to have a rally to close down Rikers. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna start it off with a little chant, okay? The first chant we're gonna do is shut Rikers down. 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 All right, we're gonna do another one. Just repeat after me. Rikers is a living hell. Shut it down. 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 Woo! About to get another one in. It's time to what? Shut Rikers down. 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 Woo! I got another one. You guys gotta repeat after me, okay? Until Rikers is closed, what do we need? Receivership.
Until Rikers is closed, what do we need? Receivership.
And why do we need it? To keep our people safe. Yeah. So I'm gonna ask a question, you guys gonna answer. So I'm gonna ask it again. Until Rikers is closed, what do we need? Receivership. And why do we need it?
To keep us safe.
Yes. Until Rikers is closed, what do we need?
Receivership.
And why do we need it?
To keep us safe.
Cool. Let the energy respond to the question. One more. Who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
community organizer at the Control Center on Equity, Health, and Justice. And I just gotta say, it's beautiful to see the community showing up here. I know the weather's not the best, but we're still out here. And you know what? When it's rough times, it's really, really good to be here in community, to support one another, to uplift each other. And I want to extend my deepest, deepest gratitude to every single one of you for being out here today to take action to shut down Rikers. It's time to what? Shut down Rikers! It's time to what?
Shut down Rikers!
That's right. And we are gathered here in front of City Hall, which is right behind us, to tell the mayor and the city elected officials that we are watching them. We are watching them, and that we need them to take immediate action to keep all New Yorkers safe, especially those that are being detained in New York City jails in terrible, terrible conditions. And we have lost far too many people at the hands of this insidious jail complex, at the hand of this Mayor Eric Adams. And to that we say, boo! That's right. And to that we say, and also, we say not one more. We don't need another life lost at the hands of this mayor under the Department of Corrections. We will not accept that. And we demand that the mayor cuts the city jail population, shuts down Rikers. Let's say that one more time together.
Shut down Rikers!
Exactly. And that they invest in true public safety, and we all know what that looks like. True public safety means that the mayor puts money into things that help our communities thrive. Right. Put money into healthcare, put money into education, jobs. Exactly. Our communities need resources to thrive and feel safe. And today, we will march to take up space, to let our voices be heard. These are our streets. This is our community. And we won't stop until the mayor takes action and shuts down Rikers. And so, shut it down. Shut it down.
Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down.
All right, though, and let's get this march started. So we're gonna make sure that you follow Henry and Ricky, who are gonna be in front of the banner, holding that banner, and they're gonna be the point persons that you make sure that you follow. We need to make sure that we keep a tight circle. We want to make sure that you're in a rectangle space. If anything happens, you can talk to me. All right? Make sure that you have my number. It's all over the flyers. My number is 516-558-0127. The goal is just to make it to Foley Square. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to show up, take care of what we need to take care, and hold this. Incarcerate our city jails, shut down Rikers, and invest in true public safety. We all know what that looks like. It's putting money into housing, healthcare, education, and jobs. And so we all march from City Hall. Now we're here in Foley Square, and we're getting started with the run-up show. Right now, for today, there's going to be a hearing, a federal court hearing, right across Foley Square. Incarcerate our city jails, shut down Rikers, and invest in true public safety. We all know what that looks like. It's putting money into housing, healthcare, education, and jobs. And so we all march from City Hall. Now we're here in Foley Square, and we're getting started with the run-up show. Right now, for today, there's going to be a hearing, a federal court hearing, right across Foley Square, in that building over there. And as I said earlier, there's been so many people that have passed away in New York City jails, and we are fed up. We are so fed up. These are our brothers. These are our sisters. These are human beings that are no longer with us. Why? Because of negligence. Why? Because of lack of care. We need the mayor to step up. But until that happens, we need the federal court to appoint an independent receiver to take control of Rikers, to improve the conditions there, and to save lives. Since the mayor took office, 26 people have passed away. The vote, that's right, at least 26 have passed away. But we all know in May, the Department of Corrections Commissioner, Luis Molina, made a statement that they were no longer going to tell the public about the deaths happening under the Department of Corrections. That is unacceptable. I'm going to repeat it. That is unacceptable. We will not stand for it. Say it with me. We will not stand for it.
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 And again, last time we were here at Foley Square was at the special no longer believes that this administration is doing the things necessary to improve the conditions at Rikers. And to make matters worse, this week, the federal monitor that was appointed by the federal judge to oversee and report on the conditions at Rikers and to report on the improvement of the conditions, put out a really scathing report. In that report, he basically reaffirmed what we already know, that under this administration, the conditions at Rikers Island have worsened. And so, yet again, we are here once more, again, to be here ahead of this federal court hearing, where the judge has also opened up the doors for receivership. At the special conference, the judge said that the U.S. Attorney General and the Legal Aid Society are now allowed to make their cases for federal receivership. And so at the court hearing today, that's going to be one of the things that is going to be the focus. And so once again, the reason why we're here today is because we are fed up and we don't want more of our loved ones to pass away in New York City jails. Until Rikers is shut down, and we won't give up, we will continue to hold the mayor accountable in shutting down Rikers. But until that happens, we need the federal courts to intervene and appoint an independent receiver to improve the conditions so that no more of our loved ones are dying. And with that, what do we want?
Justice!
I said, what do we want?
Justice!
I can't hear you. I said, what do we want?
Justice!
We don't get it.
Shut it down!
We don't get it.
Shut it down!
We don't get it.
Shut it down!
Melanie Dominguez. My name is Melanie Dominguez. I'm the lead community organizer at the Catal Center for Equity, Health, and Justice.
Thank you. Yeah, let's go. What do you want?
Justice!
When do you want it?
Now!
What do you want?
Justice!
When do you want it?
Now!
If we don't get it,
Shut it down!
if we don't get it,
Shut it down!
we don't get it.
Shut it down!
We don't get it.
Shut it down! How everyone's doing? My name is Ricky Ford. I'm the policy fellow here. And I'll be the one introducing the speakers today. Right now, we have our speaker, Councilmember Lincoln Wessler. He's going to be the first one to talk about this fight to close down Rikers and call for federal receivership.
When I say close Rikers, you say now. Close Rikers!
Now!
Close Rikers!
Now!
Close Rikers!
Now!
Close Rikers! Close Rikers!
Now!
There is broad consensus across the city that Rikers Island is a failure. That the mayor of the city of New York no longer has the ability to run Rikers Island. He has failed the people of Rikers Island, the families of the people on Rikers Island. He has failed the people of New York City. And let me tell you something. Everybody else sees it. The Legal Aid Society says it's time for a federal receivership. Even the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District says it's time for a federal receivership. The federal monitor that's been working on Rikers Island for a decade recognizes it is time for a federal receivership.
That's it.
Mayor Adams has failed. He's failed. 37 people have died on Rikers Island. 26. They don't care. 37 in 2 years.
They don't care.
Shame on him.
Died on Rikers Island. The Department of Correction cannot fulfill its most basic responsibility, keeping people alive. The conditions are getting worse. The violence is escalating. It is a hellhole. It is a stain on our city, a stain on our conscience, and the only thing left to do is to bring in a federal receiver.
That's right.
We are, of course, working to shut Rikers Island down as quickly as humanly possible.
That's right.
We must fulfill the law of the city of New York and close Rikers Island by 2027. And let me tell you something. Between now and then, we need intervention. We cannot allow our brothers and sisters who are incarcerated to die, to suffer from unacceptable, intolerable violence. We must intervene with a federal receiver because that is the only way we can ensure the safety of the people who are there. So Judge Swain has a simple decision to make. To listen to the people who are closest to the pain, to listen to the people who have been most affected by the violence on Rikers Island, to listen to the advocates like the Cattell Center, and the people who are demanding justice and justice now. It is time to take this power away from Mayor Adams and give this power to a federal receiver who will finally bring more safety to Rikers Island. Thank you very much.
Until Rikers is closed, what do we need?
Receivership.
And why do we need it?
To keep us safe.
Until Rikers is closed, what do we need?
Receivership.
And why do we need it?
To keep us safe.
Great, great. Our next speaker will be Andre Johnson from A Little Piece of Life.
Make some noise, everyone.
2 days ago, President Walker was beat to a coma. He's got a sex case, and they refuse to put him in protective custody. He's beaten 3 times. Franklin Walker.
As an advocate, and I'm here as a prior. This is emotional for me, because I've been home 25 years, and this is still going on. Actually, it's gotten worse. He just said it's 37. So we talking about 26 this year. That means the death increase. That means, Mayor Adams, you are not capable of running the city the way it needs to be run. I'm not going to just talk about Rikers. I'm talking about the whole city.
That's right.
We are having loved ones die in the hand, under your hands, under your leadership, which you need to remove and ask for the help. Ask for help. It's okay, Mayor Adams, to ask for the help. I'm here to tell you that you cannot do this job. We have evidence that you can't do it. How many people have died? And you keep telling me you got it under control. No. You tell my people you got it under control. Shame but you don't.
Shame on him. Shame.
Yes. What was it? Yesterday? An officer beat a mentally ill detainee. It's in the news. You do not have control. You allow your officer to continue to abuse us.
There's no police
in the hands of you.
None.
No
We are not safe.
None.
None of us are safe under your watch. None of us. Out here or in there. So we need you to step down. Let someone come in as the federal, as we say. Who do we need? Who do we need? Who do we need? Who we don't need? Who we don't need? Who we don't need? Who we don't need? Step down. Close Rikers. Until then,
she brings, and it's time to what?
Shut it down!
It's time to what?
Shut it down!
It's time to what?
Shut it down!
Our next speaker would be Jamal Bear from Housing Works, and I'm happy to hear him come on to talk about this fight to close down Riker.
Let's do it!
Woo!
Let's talk about it, let's go!
Jermaine Barrett from Housing Works.
Housing Works.
I like the chance. I like
Let's
the chance.
talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Are we here? We're here close Riker. Why are we here?
Close Riker!
Why are we here?
Close Riker!
Why are we here?
Close Riker!
Do we want it?
Now!
That's right.
Right
That's
now.
why we're here. Not only I'm a proud employee of Housing Works, I'm also a proud employee of not problem. Turn it up, turn it up, man. Turn it up, turn it up. Not only am I a proud employee of Housing Works, I'm also a proud member of the CCA. Right?
Yes.
And I'm simply here because I'm a human being that has stories, I have experience, I have trauma. Based upon my experience, based upon my experience of being in Rikers. So initially when I was asked to speak, I wasn't too sure what I was going to talk about, right? Because trauma, sometimes we want to forget. Sometimes we normalize trauma. The experience is Rikers.
Take your time. Take your time.
My brothers, my sisters, my mother, parents, children, human beings, right? The time when I was on Rikers between 2005 and 2007, in a housing unit called NIC for high-profile individuals. I was there with famous actor Lilo Ricardo, famous for Bronx Tales. And during this time, while we was in Rikers Island, seeing numerous situations in the name of justice that was injustice. Individuals that were neglected medically, individuals who were hurt physically, individuals who suffered during the duration of being at Rikers Island, and individuals who left Rikers Island who couldn't get past that experience, and individuals that are today that are still dying, like Curtis Davis, and others alike, So while we here, come on. While we here, close Rikers. Why we here?
Close Rikers!
Why we here?
Close Rikers!
Why we here?
Close Rikers!
Yeah, the reason why I'm here also is for individuals like Khalif wrote it. Khalif wrote it when it was depicted on the documentary by Jay-Z, who came home based upon that same trauma, who could not get past that experience of being at Rikers Island. I'm here because of individuals like my brother, Anthony Collado, who was part of Rikers and was released on June 18th of 2021, who also could not get past that experience.
Let's talk
That
about
sadly
it.
passed away on July 10th, 2023. I'm here because we had one too many stories of death, neglect, and trauma that supersedes that experience at Rikers Island. I'm here because if you don't understand, I want you to understand. I'm talking loud because I don't want you just to hear what I'm saying. I want you to feel what I'm saying. I want you to feel that experience.
Let's talk about
That's
it.
why we here. Why we here?
The close Rikers!
Why we here?
The close Rikers!
That's right. That's why we all here. The story's just alike. So not today. Definitely not tomorrow. We want it right now.
Right
when
now.
we want it
Now.
When we want it
Now.
That's what we want. That's why we here. Thank you.
Rikers is a living hell. Rikers is a living hell.
Shut it down.
Rikers is a living hell.
Shut it down.
I want to give a huge thank you to Jermaine talking about his personal experience, talking about Rikers Island. And now I want to introduce a public advocate, Jamani Williams, one of the people leading this fight for federal receivership over Rikers Island.
Let's go.
Peace and blessings, everyone. Love and light to you all. Today is a 2-year anniversary, unfortunately, of Brandon Rodriguez's death in Rikers Island. Since then, we've seen more death and more violence. July was the deadliest day in the past several years, the deadliest month, I'm sorry, for people losing their lives on Rikers. But I want to make sure we know what we're dealing with. So, several council members visited Rikers recently. They have a different point of view of us, and I'm sure it's been said here, but it's important to repeat. They described it as a great environment.
What?
And so what we are dealing with are people who believe, for black and brown primarily people who are awaiting trial, 80% of which Rikers Island is a great environment. So if you deal with people who believe Rikers Island is a great environment, particularly if it's filled with black and brown bodies who are awaiting trial, you will understand why we are still here years later fighting to shut Rikers down and now trying to push receivership. This is the mentality that people have, particularly when it comes to black and brown bodies. Because Rikers Island to them is a great environment. That's absurd. What I want the administration to do is stop viewing this as an attack. What I want you to do is view this as a way out to make everything better. Because this is not the first administration that has had this problem. We've been dealing with this from administration to administration to administration. We've been trying really hard to solve the problems, and it seems that the city itself cannot do it no matter what administration is there.
It's disgusting.
And I want to be clear, and I'm going to bring in everybody, because no one is safe on Rikers Island.
No one. No one.
The detainees aren't safe.
No one.
The staff and the corrections officers aren't safe.
No one.
You have women who are corrections officers being sexually abused and assaulted. You have inmates, and detainees who are assaulted and abused. No one is safe on Rikers Island. No one. And to say you've had improvement because of how bad and terrible it got doesn't mean we are where we're supposed to be. And we've been pushing this for such a long time. I would say this. My preference was that the city would be able to move us where we need to go. I haven't seen that plan yet. Quite the opposite. Every time we push, we see less transparency. We push again, we see less transparency. That is not the way of partnership to move forward. But I do want to say, if we get a federal receivership, there must be community voices and involvement helping steer the direction of Riker. One person can't solve this. So if the receivership comes, we have to include some of the folks behind me who have lived experience to make sure we do this right. And we have seen receivership work in other states in the union. Let's see it work here, because no one is safe on Rikers Island. We have to shut that down, and it's time to just say the city needs some help for Rikers Island. Let's get it done. Peace and blessings. Love and light to you all. Thank you so much.
No one is safe on Rikers Island.
No one is safe on Rikers Island. No one is safe on Rikers Island. No one is safe on Rikers Island.
Until Rikers is closed, what do we need?
Receivership.
And why do we need it?
To keep us safe.
Until Rikers is closed, what do we need?
Receivership.
And why do we need it?
To keep us safe.
Who keep us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who
keep us safe?
We keep us safe. Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
I want to give a huge shout out to Jamani Williams, talking about what he was talking about, especially about this long fight to close down Rikers and calling for federal receivership to make sure that people incarcerated are safe. Now, the other speaker that we have coming on will be Khalil Claire Smalling from Strategic Organizing from the Office of New York City Comptroller Brad Leader.
Let's talk about it.
First off, I want to thank the Tall Center and all our allies and advocates for bringing us out here today. My name is Khalil. I represent the Office of the New York City Comptroller. Brad Lander. It's disappointing he couldn't make it today, but I'm happy to speak instead. From the beginning, our office has prioritized oversight for the Department of Correction, bringing transparency and accountability to an agency that's become more and more opaque to everyday New Yorkers. And so a year ago, we launched our Department of Correction dashboard to measure key metrics of jail conditions and operations. And sadly, a year from now, very little has changed. The jail population has doubled. People with severe mental illness are overly represented in our jail system. That population has doubled. And our service delivery has plummeted, with people in custody missing 25% of medical appointments in the last year. The status quo is not enough. And this is why our office has decided to support the calls for a receiver. Because while a receiver is not the solution, it will provide a way to make some progress towards transforming this jail system and hopefully closing Rikers once and for all.
And save lives.
And save lives. We gotta keep our communities safe, because as it stands now, the city administration has been unable to do so, and so with third-party receiver as public advocate has said, with communities of support, control, and input, can keep New Yorkers safe, and that's what it's about. So thank you all again. Let's continue our advocacy and calls for receivership, for justice for our community members. Thank you.
No one is safe at Rikers Island. No one is safe at Rikers Island. No one is safe at Rikers Island. But who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. Who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. Who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. Woo! I want to give a huge shout out to what he said as well. Khalil Smalling just talking about this fight and talking about the community making sure that this actually happens and we stay involved with this fight for federal receivership. The next person I will be calling, and I have a great day to bring him out, is Nova Felder from the Education and Program Office at Baba Inc.
Who's sitting?
I see.
Who's sitting?
I see.
Who's sitting?
I see.
Who's sitting?
I see.
Shut what down?
Rikers.
Shut what down?
Rikers.
Shut what down?
Rikers.
Peace and blessings, family. My name is Nova Feld. I'm here from Baba Inc., Bridging Africa and Black America. Just a stone's throw away from here, black and brown bodies were traded as capital and as commodities. Those same black bodies are being treated in the same way, especially on Rikers. To the price tag of $500,000 plus per year per inmate, with over 6,000 human beings, 80% of which are not even guilty of a crime as yet. In this city that has the capacity to absorb the world's huddled masses, as we see on TV every day, that can withstand crisis after crisis, and can cultivate innovation to export to the rest of the world, it is a shame and nonsensical that we cannot get policing and jail reform correct. Rikers, the de facto largest prison on the planet, right, would rather should have been a blight on the brilliance of this city a long time ago. For us to still not get this right as a city, amongst so many other things in regards to policing and jail reform, is beyond me. 26 dead people. They are brothers, sisters, daughters, sons, mothers, fathers, and potential contributors to humanity. Under the Adams administration, this is beyond acceptable under any administration. Boo, Mayor Adams. The federal government's move to asking to put Rikers under a federal receivership is the correct move. It has been the correct move and is well beyond time. In the last 2 years alone, dozens of our brothers and sisters that are our fellow human beings have perished at the hands and incompetency and non-care. Their death should be beyond any reason for this to happen. I want everybody here that is holding a sign at this time or knows a name of a brother or sister that has been perished and died on that hellhole called Rikers Island, please say their names now. Felix Tavares, Elise Browder. We must remember them. They are one of us. It is our job to change this. The federal government has a mandate to do what the people want. Close Rikers now! Close Rikers now! Thank you.
Close Rikers now! 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 I love the energy we bring it. I love to hear it. Let's hear it one more time. Shut Rikers down! 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 I'm gonna now to bring in our next speaker. I will be bringing in Deshara McLenny-Wire, the Executive Director of Center for Independence of Disabilities.
Yeah!
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
I'm here to talk about disability rights. No, 90% of people that are incarcerated have a disability. They have mental health disabilities. They have learning disabilities. They have mobility disabilities. They have medical disabilities, and so much more. If they didn't go in with a disability, they may have come out with a disability because they got beaten on, which happens to be traumatic brain injury. We need to talk about accommodations. Under the Americans with Disabilities Act, you are entitled to an accommodation. Where are the accommodations in Rikers? Where's the bad treatment? Where is their treatment? You can't kill someone because they have a disability. We need treatment. We don't need enforcement. A lot of these people are waiting for trial. They're not even convicted of a crime. They should have access to medical and mental treatment. We want treatment for our disabled people. It doesn't matter what zip code they have. They live in New York City. And as the Executive Director for the Center for Independence of the Disabled New York, we are here to advocate for disability rights. It's a human right. Everyone deserves treatment, regardless of what you look like. People, understand, disabled people are incarcerated. We need to give them treatment. We need to give them housing. We need to give them jobs. We need to give them education. We should not incarcerate. We need to rehabilitate. We need help. New Yorkers, wake up. It can happen to you. It can happen to you. Disability status is an open opportunity membership. It can happen to anybody. One day you're able-bodied, the next day you're not. Understand the American Disabilities Act. We fought for many years so that we have access to inclusion. That includes the prisons. That's what they are. They're prison. Mental health is on the rise here in New York City for everybody. regardless of how rich or how poor. We need mental health treatment today. Thank you for letting me get the word out. We want disability rights. It's a human right for everybody.
That's right.
That's right. It's time to what?
Shut it down.
It's time to what?
Shut it down.
It's time to what?
Shut it down. I'm also here and glad to introduce the Raging Nannies. They're going to give us the energy we need.
Let's
and
go.
keep pumping us up. Let's go.
Come out, give it up for the Raging Grannies. The Grannies. Don't forget the G.
Not nannies with grannies.
That's right. Don't forget the G.
Rikers Island, shut it down. Hear it.
Shut it down.
Shut it down.
Rikers Island, shut it down.
Can't pay bail.
You can die in jail.
Can't pay bail.
You can die in jail.
Rikers
Island, shut it down.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
Rikers Island, shut it down.
Shut it down. Die in jail.
One more time. Rikers Island,
Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. Rikers Island, shut it down.
Pay bail. Die
All right, everyone. We want to thank every single one of you for being out here. We have one more speaker. We know we barely through the rain. We're showing up. We're making sure that our voices are heard ahead of the hearing that is happening right across in that building, where the judge is going to have to contend with whether or not she's going to put a federal receiver in place to take control of Rikers Island to improve conditions. Right now, you're going to hear from our last speaker, which is our one and only Qatar leader, Henry Robinson. So make some noise.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Before I get started, could I just get a chant going on real quick?
Yes.
All right, I would like to say, no justice,
No peace.
no justice,
No peace.
no justice,
No peace.
What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
When do we want it?
Now.
All right, thank you. All right, everybody.
You don't have to kneel down.
All right, everyone, we here. Well, I'm Henry Robinson. So y'all know that I've been in prison or in Rikers before, where I went through the same conditions that these individuals went through without all the extra stuff. People wasn't dying then, but it was definitely hazardous for people's health, right? There's a lot of violence that going in Rikers. There's a lot of disrespect and things like that. So outside of that, with Rikers Island.